Hello, my name is Jada, and I have OCD. What OCD is obsessive compulsive disorder. And I know that you hear lots of people joke about it. People that are neat freaks or germaphobes, and people will laugh and say, oh, you have OCD, and it's a joke. But to the millions of us that have it, it's not a joke. It's a almost debilitating mental illness that causes us to have a day full of anxiety, rituals, obsessive obsessions, compulsions. It's amazing how most of us are so scared to tell anyone that we have these problems, and we wait until we're well into our adulthood, and by that time our OCD is worse. I'm going to tell you my story. And the reason I'm telling you my story is not for sympathy or not to look crazy, but because there's somebody out there watching who has these symptoms, who thinks that they're crazy or thinks that they're the only one. And I want to let them know that it's a lot of us out here. I have another channel here on YouTube that does pretty good, and I enjoy doing it. But I realized recently how much OCD was a part of my life and how much it can sometimes affect my life. In fact, it affects my life very dramatically. I host a radio show, and like right now, I'm trying really hard not to make a noise. There's a noise that when I talk, sometimes I make. Why, you ask? Because that's just a ritual of the OCD. And when you don't do it, it feels like your brain is going to explode. Another thing that happens is constant thoughts. Sometimes your brain can be so overwhelmed with thoughts, it's hard to keep up with everything. Sometimes you'll be sitting doing nothing or even working on homework or whatever you're doing, and all of a sudden you'll have a thought, her shoes are ugly. And you'll be like, why did I think that? And then you'll ignore the thought if you can. If you don't say hallelujah 10 times, you're going to go to hell. What? Why am I thinking that? Let me explain. OCD is different from, is not schizophrenia or anything like that. Um, those thoughts that I was talking about are called intrusive thoughts. They're not the thoughts of the person. It's just something that their brain is coming up with. And many people with OCD have this, but are very ashamed to talk about it because it is embarrassing. So sometime I'll be on the radio doing my show, and all of a sudden I'll have the urge in my mind to say, you suck or something like that. And I have to fight that in order to live my life. Let me tell you how it began. I was about 11 or 12 years old in middle school. Middle school was a difficult time for me, very difficult. I was bullied, teased, all that stuff. And I could have even been going into high school. I began to have like these thoughts in my head, like, touch this door. Like I felt like I needed to touch the door. And I would touch the door, and then I would touch the door, and I would touch the door. And I thought, why am I have to do this? Or I would crack my knuckles, and then I'll keep cracking them and keep cracking them. Or that noise I would make. And my grandmother would say, what's wrong with you, Jada? Stop doing it. And I wish that I could stop, but I couldn't. And so I would continue to do it. And then I would find myself just doing lots of little counting, being fearful that if I didn't count up to 5 or whatever, that my mom would go to hell or different things. That's kind of how OCD works. Usually the rituals stem from some kind of thought that's going over and over in your head. So I become an adult, and it doesn't go away, but I just become a little bit better at masking it. And it got really hard when I started to date my husband because, it's hard to hide um, a, a noise that you always make, or it got to the point he was making fun of me for the noise and he didn't realize that I couldn't stop it. To this day, if you listen carefully, you probably can hear me breathe hard or hear the noise that I have to make. And you ask, why can't you just stop? Trust me, people at OCD, we wish we could stop. Now, I'm on medication now, and I go to therapy to try to learn ways to control it. But because it's been so long without treatment, I'm still having a hard time. We have yet to find the dosage that helps completely, stabilize the OCD. Although what I'm on now is helping, and probably helping me to be able to talk and do this. If you're having OCD symptoms, and you can look them up online, but if some of the things I'm talking about sound like you, please, please get help. And it's not a life or death situation, but it can be. Because some people can't handle all that, the stuff that's going on in their brain and all the, it's literally like your brain has so much going on that it just wants to explode. And I think a lot of people with OCD turn to drugs to try to stop that constant thinking. You just want to go a day without thinking sometimes. And that's kind of what the medication does. Medication numbs you, or numbs your thoughts, which my husband was like, well, did you really want to numb your thoughts? And I said, if you had 100 million thoughts a day, including many intrusive ones, you'd want to do it too. Oh, and did I mention the obsessions and the compulsions? Well, I have to mention to you too that I am mostly homebound due to many chronic illnesses unrelated to OCD. I have frequent seizures. I'm going through something where I'm learning to walk again, and I'm having a lot of other issues with health. I have several chronic illnesses, including chronic pain, chronic fatigue, fibromyalgia, lots of things. So I'm basically at home, which, if you don't know, having OCD and being idle, quote unquote, can be an awful experience. But anyway, let me explain to you. Anyway, like I said, I was at home, and actually I just forgot what I was going to say because I have severe memory loss. But anyway, now I was talking about obsessions. Now, my obsessions tend to be on the health and beauty side, or exercise, or because the thing is, I can't control my body because I have lots of health problems. So I find things in my body that I can't control. For example, my hair. I have hair that is not chemically processed, that is naturally curly, and I spend hours meticulously doing my hair, and it's become an obsession. Yes, my hair is growing and it looks great, but it's an obsession for me, and it's hard. I use the natural deep conditioner called henna, and henna is an addiction of mine. I use it 3 to 4 times a week, and although my hair looks great because of it, and my hair is getting kind of red from it, it it's an obsession that I would like to stop. And so I'm trying my hardest to learn how to stop myself from overdoing it. That's a common theme for me, is overdoing it. A second thing, products. I'm not a shopper, and I'm not a person that likes to shop. In fact, shopping makes me sick. Just the overwhelming experience of being around people and things like that. But I do have the internet, and I do like to online shop sometimes for hair products. And again, my hair is my obsession. So here comes the compulsions. Um, if I see hair products on sale here lately, I will buy them. Now, I don't use my our money from our checking account. We have money set aside for hair products and different things. So I'm not doing anything that messes up our budget. In fact, it goes with our budget. But I have this mindset that if I don't get these products, like somehow, my life is going to be over. And then when I get the products, it's like I don't even care. Like I don't even want them. It doesn't even matter. And so it's the up and down of OCD. It's whether you're obsessed with exercise, and I've been there before, or you're obsessed with, you know, um, certain other things, tattoos, or a certain type of animal. Like some people might have a stuffed animal that they're obsessed with. And then the compulsions, being compulsive, going into a store and spending $500 and then going back and feeling bad about it and going back and forth. Now, luckily, I don't have a shopping OCD issue, but many of us do. And some people it's hand washing. They can't stop washing their hands. They are a germaphobe. And you know what? I have a little bit of that. Sometimes with OCD, you have extreme phobias. And me, I can't stand certain plastics. Certain plastics will drive me to run quicker than even a mouse in the house would. So, I've shared my story with you. Why? In hopes that you would understand that OCD is more than just a joke, more than just something to say. In fact, there's lots of celebrities with OCD. And I think the reason they're able to maintain is because of the obsession part. If you get obsessed with whatever you want to be, you're going to know everything about it. You're going to be studied. Ask me anything about natural hair or henna, and I can tell you a book worth of stuff. But anyway, you guys, subscribe to my channel because I will be documenting what's going on with my OCD. But this is the introduction / my story. Thank you, and God bless.